All right, we are starting our proper session now. Let's hope everything is working. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Exactly. All right, so the screen sharing is now working. All right, let's see if we have our leaders back. Looks like the screen sharing is now working. All right, great leaders, can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Looks like it worked. The trick worked for us to restart the session. Okay, I can see it worked. And I hope that everyone can hear me, that I'm clearly audible. Now we literally need to hit the ground running. So I think what I will do, let's just share, because now the link is now different. Let's just share the new link. I'll just delete this one. This one doesn't work anymore. Let's just share. Apologies, great leaders. We roll with the punches. Yeah, but I really needed everyone to see my screen. So let's just say I'm deleting the link that I shared before. All right, so great leaders, I am going to make as if there's like 100 of you here. All right, because now training started late, unfortunately, due to unforeseen happenings with this rain. It's just too much. So, great leaders, good morning, good morning. My name is Timo. Yeah, the next one sharing, right? All right, yeah. Welcome to the Health Hub. And I do hope that a lot of leaders will be joining us as we are going through this training. So today we are talking about the rise of non-communicable diseases, the NCDs, which fortunately are not contagious, but they are rising at a speed as if they are contagious. Are we together? So great leaders. Uh, Let me just jump into it. All right. So you can see my screen, right? I'm reading from the World Health Organization webpage. So NCDs, which is today's topic, kills 41 million people each year, which is equivalent to 74% of all deaths globally. Each year, I'm also checking your comments in these comments. Each year, 17 million people die from NCD before the age of 70. 86% of these premature deaths occur in low and middle income countries. Yeah, network is a huge issue. So I'm going to try to be fast because 8 o'clock, I heard that we do have load shedding. Of all NCD deaths, 77% are in low and middle income countries. So obviously Africa is part of that. So 77%, English is very sorry. 77% of these deaths are in low and middle age countries. Cardiovascular diseases account for most NCD deaths, cardiovascular diseases, all right? Or 17.9 million people annually, followed by cancers. You need to write these down, all right? So it's cardiovascular diseases are the leading causes. Remember, it's a group, followed by cancers, um, which is about just over 9 million, and then followed by chronic respiratory diseases. So this just a few weeks ago, there was training with Onalinda where we trained on COPD, and she gave her account on her uh, ordeal with pulmonary embolism disorder. All right, and then followed by diabetes and 2 million, including kidney disease deaths caused by diabetes. So this is important to put into perspective. We need stats, great leaders. Stats give perspective. I've always said for the leaders that are new, I give stats so that you see, you understand that we have more than enough of a business case. So I'm gonna read this again. Cardiovascular diseases account for most non-communicable diseases, or 17.9 million people dying annually. So when we convert that to numbers, it sounds uh, daunting. And then followed by cancer. So cardiovascular diseases kill over 17 million people annually, followed by cancers, over 9 million people, followed by chronic respiratory diseases, which is over 4 million people, and diabetes accounts for 2 million deaths, which include kidney disease, uh, kidney disease disorders. These four groups of diseases account for over 80% of all premature NCD deaths. Tobacco use, physical inactivity, so lack of exercise, the harmful use of alcohol, and unhealthy diet all increase the risk of dying from an NCD. So I'm going to be fast since we started late and we are due for load shedding. Um, Formation of free radicals. We need to speak about this. Um, so free radicals. I will explain what they are, just so that we are on par. All right. So before we say what they are, where are they? They are in the UV rays. So too much of UV. All right. Metabolism, there's a process of metabolism that produces free radicals. So either way, you will find free radicals in your system. Inflammation also produces formation of free radicals. Inflammation. Air pollution. Here's air pollution down here, bottom right. Air pollution also produces free radicals. Smoking. So if you are a smoker, you must know when yourself you are compounding the problem. Yes, you're making it worse. And ionizing radiation. So all of these cause cell damage, which is called free radicals. So free radicals result in cell damage. All right. Now, what is the role of antioxidants? Remember, we started with free radicals, which damage us on a cellular level. Now we are on to antioxidants. So where do you find antioxidants or antioxidants? You find them in chemical products. So pesticides, what they put on our food, what you put in the gardens, maybe. Pesticides, cleaning products are not exempt from free radical formation. So chemical products, and then you go to industrialized food. So what are those food that have preservatives in them? So those ones with extended shelf lives, né? Added additives and artificial colorants. Food with artificial colorants have free radicals in them. All right, they promote formation of free radicals. So we spoke about UV rays, tobacco, and alcohol. Radiation. I also spoke about pollution as well, and immune deficiency. So free radicals cause cell damage, and this is called oxidative stress. All right, otherwise known as cellular aging. Are we together, great leaders? Okay. I hope we're together because I'm moving fast today. I'm moving very, very like lightning speed fast. So what I'm trying to show you here is that whether you like it or not, okay, now I pressed something I was not supposed to press. Whether you like it or not, you are exposed to free radicals every minute of every day, from chemical products to pollution to your car fuel emissions as well. Um, Please note, immune deficiency stress also causes immune deficiency. So if you are stressed, you are one of the people as well. All right, are we together? I hope we are. Moving on. I just want to shake it up a bit. All right, I've got notes as well here that I took from my mentors who are specialists in their various fields, highly qualified medical doctors who are now alternative medicine doctors. So, um, you saw diabetes, right? Let's go here. I'm still sharing my screen. A couple of weeks ago, I did share the screen. Um, Remember, diabetes is also an NCD, a non-communicable disease. So it's a chronic disorder. Ne? Thank you, Leader Wole. Welcome, welcome, great leaders. So diabetes could become one of the leading causes of death in Africa by the year 2030 if urgent interventions are not taken. This was said by the World Health Organization. We are on the year 2022. We are entering 2023 in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. So, in 8 years' time, thank you, Leader Austin. Yeah, network is tripping for all of us, even myself included. So, diabetes could become one of the leading causes of death in Africa by the year 2030 if you don't do something about it. In 2019, diabetes and kidney disease due to diabetes caused an estimated 2 million deaths. Remember, I just read that from the World Health Organization site. All right. So in 2019, diabetes and kidney disease. Remember, kidney disease is normally a complication of diabetes. All right. Kidney disease is normally a complication of diabetes. I've always said, leaders who are always in my trainings, I've always said, lifestyle diseases love company. They are not solitary beings. All right. They love company. So diabetes will cause kidney disorder or will cause something else. So if you don't have any lifestyle disorder, please take long reach product and just save your life. Diabetes is a major cause of blindness. So I'm reading the third pointer. I don't know if it's clear. I'm not going to read them all because I've done this training before. I'm just browsing through so that you can actually understand the severity of why we're having this topic today. Diabetes is a major cause of blindness, of kidney failure, of heart attack, stroke, and lower limb amputation. WHO statistics for 2022 revealed there are 24 million diabetic adults on the African continent. But this number could swell to 55 million. So that 24 million is actually not um, an actual account of diabetic adults. It can go up to 55 million. So meaning almost what? Almost 25 more million adults or 30, almost 30 million adults in Africa don't know that they have diabetes. That's where I'm going with this topic. All right. Non-communicable diseases are a pandemic on their own. So now let's get to what is diabetes? What causes diabetes? All right. Um, it's caused by a diet that's high in sugar. The more sugar you eat, the higher your insulin goes up, and then you are more likely to develop either diabetes, Alzheimer's, coronary heart disease, and cancer. All right. Please note, I'm going to shock you today. Um, I'm gonna try and be nice though about it. Before I get there, I hope most of you know that the brain and the gut are connected. So be careful what you eat. Remember that saying when you used to grow up, well, even still now, they used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. You are what you eat. Do we remember that saying? An apple a day keeps the doctor away, or you are what you eat. So I'm gonna switch it up a bit. Majority of your serotonin is made in your gut and not in your brain. Right. So you really are more of what you absorb than what you eat. So remember, absorption happens in the intestine, right? Where all of the nutrients go to our various body parts, right? So if you're not eating the correct kind of diet, if you're not preparing your food correctly, hello, I'm talking about the energy pot from language specifically, no other pot. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? There is a connection between your gut and your brain. I've said this plenty of times, but I'll say it again today because I'm going somewhere with this topic. So if you are not nourishing your yourself with the correct kind of food, thank you, the OC. Your student says yes, we are what we eat. We'll eat more food than than Seaman leader. I like that comment. So we are more of yes, you are what you eat, but actually you are what you absorb. Remember that the body has to absorb so that you are fully functional. So if you are not absorbing the right kind of stuff, what does it say? I want to share with you the role of serotonin so that I bring it home. So I said most of your serotonin is in is made in your intestine. So what does serotonin do? The hormone, right? Serotonin impacts every part of you, from your emotions. What happened? It kicked me out of my own training. Am I still live? Leaders, am I still live? The phone kicked me out. Look, I'm live. I don't know what happened there. I definitely did not expect that. Okay. All right. I'm still live. Okay. So great leaders. I want to see. Welcome, leaders. Vanilla. I didn't see you coming, great leader. So serotonin impacts every part of you. Skills. So motor, meaning your movement. Why is this thing moving so much? Because I just want to read a small part. It helps with sleeping, so your sleeping pattern, all right, your healing, the rate at which if you get injured you heal, and digestion. Serotonin is also thought to be a natural mood stabilizer. Serotonin helps the body to do the following: it regulates anxiety, experience happiness, so it's called the happy hormone actually, heal wounds, and it stimulates nausea. I want you to look here where it says bowel movement. About 90% of the serotonin in your body is produced in your intestines. Your intestines. It helps control your bowel movements and function. So this goes back to there are people when they're stressed, who are stressed, they get constipated. Do we have anyone in here like that? I've I've had a lot of people in my life when they are stressed, they get constipated. All right. So the gut brain connection is a thing. It's actually it's a real thing. All right. So 90% of your serotonin, of your feel good hormone that controls your anxiety, your happiness, how you heal, that controls, that stimulates nausea, that hormone, 90% of it is produced in your intestine. All right. And it also controls your bowel movements and bowel function. So I'm coming back to this part. Why are we not eating correctly? That's why when you eat the non-rapid stuff, you get constipated. My leaders, am I making sense? At least for one or two of you. I hope I'm making sense for one or two of you. Uh, let's see. Okay, so you get people that when they are stressed, they also get constipated. Um, there is a lot actually that I need to share with you. And then the other thing that you need to know is that 80% of your immune system is in your gut. 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Are we together, my leaders? So why don't we just eat better so that we take care of our immune system? Because 80% of it happens to be in our gut. Majority of the serotonin, the happy hormone, is in our gut. All right. There is also something that here. Okay, let me just move on. Let me just move on to save time. So, all right, great leaders. This training is directly from Long Beach Bioscience International. It's for training departments only. So if anyone wants me to share, unfortunately, it's a no-no. I just want to just give you an account. So these are the contents. Serious cancer crisis, how to keep healthy, um, sea buckthorn berry oil, the major ingredients and functions. I hope I can get through them. And then we've got testimonials and they say no more. So people really die early. All right, I don't need to even read these individuals here, but we all know that people die early, right? And why is that? Here they say pollution. What did I just say? Pollution. I'll read clockwise from pollution. Lack of exercise, stress. What did I say about stress? Genetics, diet is also part of it. What did I just say about diet, nourishing our bodies with nutritious food? Smoking, again, fatigue, and drinking alcohol. So both the inner and outside factors will affect our body, but one of the most important reasons that are affecting our health is weakness, aka deficiency. All right, deficiency. So if you're not eating nutritious food, it means you are undernourished. So what I was saying about diabetes, there's actually a lot of things I need to tell you. I hope I get through all of them. I want to also just like give you a heads up or a warning. One course of taking antibiotics is associated with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. This is according to a Scandinavian study. Okay, one course of taking antibiotics is associated with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, according to a Scandinavian study. Sugar in our diet is not in our best interest. So if you have a sweet tooth, please do yourself a favor, less sugar. All right, according to a study, Sir Richard, America, this is especially for you. According to a study from the University of North Carolina, of the 1.2 million types of foods sold in the grocery store in America, 68% have added sugar in them. That's why people are sick and have inflammatory disorders. Another shocking fact, currently, currently, babies on average are born with an average of 287 chemicals as found in the umbilical cord. Let me read that again. Currently, babies on average are born with an average of 287 chemicals as found in the umbilical cord. And then, fertilizer is high in glyphosate. I've spoken extensively about glyphosate. I even have, for the leaders that don't know, I also have a YouTube channel where I train on the product. I spoke about glyphosate. Check the training on the bow. On the bow, I did that in 2020 where I spoke about glyphosate. But there was a huge expose as well on glyphosate by one of our leading investigative journalism shows called Carte Blanche, where they spoke about glyphosate. It's shocking. Just for the leaders that are in South Africa or that know about Carte Blanche, just go on YouTube and Carte Blanche and glyphosate. You'll be shocked. All right. And then 70% of antibiotics are given to livestock in America and two-thirds in South Africa. This is not making sense right now, but please write it down because it adds up, okay? It's like a domino effect. All right. Ladies and gents, we are an immunosuppressed, nutritionally deficient population. We are an immunosuppressed, nutritionally deficient population. So our immune systems are compromised. So that's what immunosuppressed means. Our immune systems are low, they're not at the optimum. And we are nutritionally deficient because the food that we eat is not nutritious. All right. Buildup of metabolic waste and toxins in the body are the byproduct of living an unhealthy life. So this is why you, as a long reach member, you need to detox each and every day, each and every day. All right, with either the teas or the alkaline pickup. Are we together, great leaders? So most of the diseases, we have most diseases because of weakness, aka deficiency. All right. So deficiencies or weakness will cause obesity, cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, deficiency, liver disease, and cancer. I actually read most of these on the World Health Organization website when we started. So how can we? All right. So this is this is from the Long Beach Bioscience Academy. So the English is a bit broken. So I'm going to try and just maneuver around it. So how can we get rid or minimize this weakness? For example, how often do you maintain your car? How often do you maintain your body? Do you remember the last time you cared for your body? So, aka eating correctly, preparing your food correctly, drinking enough water, exercising, minimizing your stress, watching your stress levels. Very important. It's important. So they also say do not be too busy to earn money. And when you get old, you may spend lots of that money taking care of your body. So from now onwards, we must just take care of our body daily with the little money instead of when we are older and sick. And remember, prevention is better than cure. Prevention is also cheaper than cure. We should pay attention to our body maintenance. So that means what? Drinking the longest tea every day, whether it's the green tea or the brown tea. So how to do body maintenance? Psychology. So minimizing your stress levels, being away from things that trigger you. All right, like toxic situations or toxic relationships, toxic friendships. Psychology is one of them. So I'm reading psychology clockwise. Exercising is very important. The food that you eat. Remember, I spoke about nutrition and the medicine that you also take. Okay, so how to choose the right healthcare product? You get ginseng. It's a very precious tonic, especially for uh, men's vigor. So when they say men, they mean uh, supposed to write man's vigor, MAN, but you know the Chinese and English, man's vigor, so human being's vigor, but it's not suitable for daily health care. Then you get cartilaginous, also a very precious tonic, especially for man's vigor, human being's vigor, bones and whole body, but it's not suitable for daily health care. Then you get the sea backbone. It's a moderate healthcare product, good for human body's daily care. It is suitable for daily health care. How many times have I been speaking about the sea buckthorn berry oil? Plenty of times. I think there's no training that passes without me talking about the sea buckthorn berry oil. I'm just gonna move on fast. So the feedback phone has extensive history, all right, from a Tibetan doctor who wrote about it in a medical book. What he jotted down was that feedback phone has the function of expectorant, so it's good for the lungs, resolving dampness, as well as good for women and men. All right, and then it was formally listed in the Chinese pharmacopoeia in 1977 to become China's legal medicine. Also, it has been cleared about the feedback. Hey, Chinese and English. It's also clear that the feedback phone is a precious resource and can be used for medicine and daily eating. So the feedback phone are main active ingredients. These are the main active ingredients. It's got 12 of them. I won't mention all of them, but they are quite good. The most sea buckthorn is the most precious medicine edible plant in 21st century. The 21st century contains 12 classes, total more than 200 kinds of active substances beneficial to human body. It contains a lot of active elements. So far in the nature of mankind has failed to find another plant that can be compared with sea buckthorn. Ladies and gentlemen, sea buckthorn in long reach is what stem cell is. Okay, so if you're looking for stem cell, feedback zone is stem cell in language. It's good for DNA support and repair. Moving on. So these are the studies that Language Bioscience Academy did. So this is part of the R&D centers. All right. So they did a lot of studies. They they studied it for liver and kidney and found that it's excellent. So when you talk about the liver, they studied for fatty liver disease, alcohol liver, cirrhosis of the liver, so the scarring of the liver, hepatitis. Remember hepatitis? I did a whole lesson on hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E, couple of months ago, and deficiency of the kidney, and they found that it's excellent. They also did studies on cardiovascular and cerebral vascular diseases, so problems, disorders with the brain, all right, and they found that it's excellent. So one of the disorders was coronary heart disease, atherosclerosis, so hardening of the arteries, hypertension, hypotension, so low blood in other words, and they found that it was excellent. You see that there's remarks, but because of time, unfortunately, I have to move on fast. They also studied sea buckthorn berry oil for the lungs and diabetes. So this was specifically for people who get easily sick, who are very allergic, and who catch cold fast, who cough, and lung deficiency. And they found that sea buckthorn berry oil was excellent. All right. Also for diabetic patients. Remember, we just spoke about diabetes. I just spoke about it extensively, kind of. Sebastian oil was also studied for gastrointestinal disease like gastritis, gastric ulcers, ulcerative colitis, and dyspepsia. Dyspepsia is also known as indigestion, and they found that it's excellent. All right, it was also studied for anti-aging, antioxidant, and radiation resistance. Remember when we started, we spoke about there's somewhere where we spoke about radiation, ionizing radiation here, when we spoke about free radicals. So I hope it's making sense. I hope I'm not too fast, but because of we're gonna have me shading now. So sea buckthorn berry oil was also found to be a good and excellent anti-aging, antioxidant, anti-radiation um, supplement. Moving on, so the main functions of sea buckthorn berry oil, I'll read from strengthens immunity and yeah, clockwise. So it strengthens immunity. Remember, we spoke about immunosuppressed. I said we are an immunosuppressed. Um, hey, I said we are an immunosuppressed and nutrient deficient population worldwide, not just South Africa or Africa, because the food that we eat that we find in the supermarket, unfortunately, most of it is not nutritious. They take out the nutrition, all right, they take out the nutrients so that it has a longer shelf life. So companies are actually looking at the bottom line more than your health. It possesses anti-cancer inhibition effects. Remember, cancer is the second leading killer worldwide. The first is cardiovascular, and then followed by cancer and then lung diseases. And then it's good for cardiovascular system by improving myocardial blood flow state. So blood flowing back to your heart, or yeah, flowing to your heart, promotes the heart function. Efficient rate for the angina pectoria is 94%. This is excellent grade leaders. Remember, there's a lot of people dying from cardiovascular disease. It's the number one leading cause of death. And it improves liver function. This is very important for those who are on um, a chronic medication. Okay, that improves liver function. It's very important for those who are on chronic medication and for those who just drink too much alcohol. And then anti-inflammatory and tissue regeneration. Remember, I said sea backbone berry oil is our stem cell product in long reach. All right. Remember, inflammation is also what causes free radicals in our system. So we need to mitigate that. How do we do that? By supplementing with berry oil. Antioxidation effect, it removes free radicals. This is our Sebastian berry oil. And then anti-gastric ulcer, and then function to the blood system to reduce blood viscosity. So it regulates your blood. All right, it's not too thick, it's not too weak. All right, triglycerides lowers cholesterol as well as prevent and treat thrombosis. So thrombosis are blood clots which can happen either in your veins or in your arteries. All right, remember, clots can be either a stroke or a heart attack, or it can move to your lung and become pulmonary embolism, or you can have deep vein thrombosis. So thrombosis is actually quite an extensive topic, which I did touch last year sometime. All right. Bauhitin Seabaxone berry oil is one of the best functional products for the health of the liver, the heart, and the brain. Um, Lansu Medical College came to the conclusion after a long-term research result that the sea backbone oil has obvious improvement and protection on liver injury caused by carbon tetrachloride, otherwise known as carbon tetra, paracetamol, and alcohol. All right, a lot of our people drink, great leaders. Let's not shy away from the truth. A lot of people drink. Some drink because of stress. Some drink because of poverty. The reasons are numerous. All right, a lot of people drink. So take the berry oil to them along with our tea. So sea backbone berry oil versus cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. They found that when they were in hospital called Chuanwu, I might become Chinese now. They found that diseases like angina pectoris, coronary heart disease, hyperlipidemia, so high fat, were cured by using sea backbone and a total effect rate of over 90%, while the effective rate of electrocardiogram improvement was over 49%. Electrocardiogram meaning the way that the heart beats. All right. Sorry, I'm being a little bit too technical somewhere, but I'm sure the leaders will appreciate it. Sea backbone seeds, they are one of the best functional products for protecting liver and nourishment and nourishing the stomach. We need to nourish the stomach and the intestine as well. And then, so these conclusions are part of, remember when I was reading the research and I said I can't read the bottom? So this is the conclusions, all right, of the researchers. Okay, so sea backbone versus gastrointestinal diseases. There's a long history of sea backbone useful experience in the therapy of digestive system diseases, which include gastric ulcers, duodenal ulcer, inflammation, indigestion, and so on. A research report from the former Soviet Union pointed out that the sea backbone berry oil experiments on gastric ulcer show it has strong activity, meaning it's potent, it's good. Further research suggests that seabaxone oil has the function of inhibition of gastric mucosa extract and activity of proteinase, which plays a big role in ulcer healing processes. So that's why the berry oil is very good for people who have any kind of stomach condition like peptic ulcers, all right, gastric ulcers. Then we have many testimonies We do also have a testimony page, Great Leaders, which I've shared before. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to actually take. Let me do this. Let me do this. Wait, wait, wait. Let me just do this for the leaders who are new here. I'm going to share a testimony that I shared earlier on. Let's see if I do have access to that. There was a lady who has a problem with her bowel movement. So I'm going to just share it with you. This is to benefit the leaders who are new in this training and who know nothing about um, our Facebook page. The Facebook page is meant to grow our businesses. So if maybe you're looking for what you call it, for a testimony on a product, then you just go there, testimony page. Are we together, great leaders? So this testimony actually touched my heart. It's someone who was a long suffering psoriasis patient for more than 10 years. This patient went to doctors and she lost her confidence of the treatment. And then due to gastrointestinal diseases, she bought the berry oil. And then after using the berry oil the way she was recommended, with calcium tablets, 4 months later, her psoriasis magically went away, disappeared. Like you can see on the left, it says before, on the right, it says after 4 months. So, ladies and gents, if you have a condition, please note it is recommended that you take it for at least 3 months. All right, then we have a child who was born with a cardiovascular disease, some form of heart disease, and this child was given sea buckthorn berry oil, and the child improved. All right, this is directly from Long Beach, China headquarters. Okay, the fourth testimony. Someone had Miss Zhao found her whole body joint aching, hyperplasia of mammary glands after giving birth to a child. So hyperplasia is enlargement of an organ or tissue caused by an increase in the reproduction rate of the cell. So the cells grow too fast. And this is often an initial stage in the development of cancer. She used lots of medicines for a long term, but they failed. She was she was found there. I remember this is from China. I said the English is a bit, hey, I have to maneuver around. She was found there are three, okay. They found that she had three uterine fibroids and ovarian cysts in her body, as well as a variety of diseases like insomnia and constipation. After taking T-Bactone products for more than 3 months, then she went to the hospital for double check, and they found that all indicators are normal. So she had nothing anymore. No fibroids, no variances, no more constipation, no more insomnia, no more hyperplasia. Are we together, great leaders? So obviously our products are ISO certified. We have invention patents. I'll just go through that. So there's various uses for our berry oil, gastrointestinal diseases, cardio, cerebrovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, sub health. So on sub health, it just means that you are not 100%. So you're suffering from insomnia, forgetfulness, drowsiness, fatigue, weakness of limb. This time of the year, everyone has a burnout. Okay, most people, especially who are working, they have a burnout. They need T-Bactone berry oil. All right, radiation protection spoke about it. Recovery from surgery. So anyone who's coming from a surgery, please recommend the berry oil. Remember, it helps with DNA support and repair, and it's very good for flesh development. All right, so it speeds up wound healing. That's also very good for diabetic patients. Hypoimmunity, so low immunity. So people who are susceptible to, just getting ill out of the blue, getting catching a cold here and there, bad appetite, insomnia. Please give them Tibaxone. gynecology, gosh, English, gynecology, recuperation, so recovering. So female problems, dysmenorrhea, menopausal syndrome, cervical erosion, cervicitis, and vaginitis. Right, I don't need to get into details with that, just female problems. I just did that, all right? And then for children, low resistance, anorexia, malnutrition, poor health, children who get easily sick. All right, and other uses of the berry oil, you can use it on burns and scalds, pressure ulcers, wounds, and frostbite as well. So you can just break the gel. Okay, let me just read here. For external use of the berry oil, you can break the berry oil soft capsule. Remember, they're soft gels by biting or using a knife, and then besmear it in the trauma. So you just put it on the trauma. Can treat burning, ulcer, furuncle swollen, and trauma. So furuncle swollen is a bacterial infection caused by staphylococcus. So basically, it's like a boil. It's a boil. All right, and it can be used for all kinds of tinea. Tinea are diseases caused by fungus, so think of ringworms and athlete's foot. And then it can also be used like essence. It's good for beauty, so you can use it on your face, all right, and become gorgeous and all. All right, so great leaders. I really tried my best. There is one slide I want to share with you, where I said, "Are you on chronic medication? Then you need these long-reach organic products, which are the berry oil and the brown tea." Um, the long-term side effects of prescription medication or drugs, the one that's at risk the most is your liver, due to how toxic prescription drugs are to the body. It has to work twice as hard to break down these substances, decreasing liver function and causing long term damage to your organs. The kidneys are also affected by these drugs due to how some of them affect the body's ability to regulate temperature. So, for anybody who is on chronic medication, please recommend the berry oil along with the brown tea specifically. All right, in the academy, we do research as well. So, specifically, brown tea. All right, all our teas are good, but specifically, brown tea. Ladies and gents, I think training is over. Are there any questions? Yeah, training is over. Wow, I went so fast. Great leaders, do you have any questions? Training is over. Do you have any questions? Look, the light is still on. I hope I didn't speak too quick. So do you see the rise of non-communicable diseases are because of the lifestyle. There's antibiotics in our food. Oh, there's one thing that I actually forgot to read for you. Special for South Africans. Special. Where is it? Special for South African leaders. Where is it? See, this network is also another thing. But you can ask the questions, great leaders. We'll be done in 5 minutes. Ah, South Africans. Listen to this. South Africans, thank you, leader Zanele. South Africans raise and slaughter 2 billion animals for consumption each year. We eat a staggering 2.5 million chickens every single day. So think about your Nando's, your chicken licken, your. Yeah. The majority of these animals are kept in intensive industrialized farms in order to increase the efficiency of meat production, and these conditions aid the spread of disease. So this is why they also use antibiotics on our animals. But remember, with the antibiotics, we are the consumers. We are the consumers. Okay, we are the consumers. So this is why we need to mitigate all of these problems. We've got the pollution, the food that we eat has got antibiotics, and then most of it is not nutritious. Then we've got our car fumes. Yes, we've got pollution. We've got firms all around us. UV rays also are very dangerous for us. And then a process of digestion also produces free radicals. So either or, whether you like it or not, you are exposed to free radicals every second of every day. So, great leaders, I hope you enjoyed this training. I tried to make it as informative as possible. It was really a lot, I know. It was really a lot to take in, but there's nothing we can do. These are the things that we need to do. And then the other thing is that remember, um, our environment is also a factor towards our health. Okay, our environment is also a factor. Why do I say that? Is that it's only 50 minutes? Um, Most people don't know the kind of paint that is used in their house. You'll find that they've been living in that house for years and years and years, only to find that the paint is lead. Lead is very dangerous. And then you find that some leaders don't know, or people actually, let me not say leaders, people don't know the kind of ceiling that is in their houses. There's many different kinds of ceilings, but there's one specific ceiling that's very dangerous that was called asbestos. Asbestos is very dangerous. Okay, it was scratched from the market in 2008. But there are houses with asbestos, So that's why the cancers are also just skyrocketed because you don't know the kind of ceiling that's in your house, and then you are exposed to the ceiling every day. But when I say that you don't know, you think the ceiling is nice, not knowing that, oh, this is probably asbestos, you know. So great leaders, I hope I'm going to. This is my engineering side of the brain talking now, and construction side. Please make sure that you know the kind of paint in your house that you use. All right. So if it's just make sure that you know the kind of paint that you use in your house, and make sure that you know the kind of feeling that's also in your house. Okay, you might be uh, in a danger zone without knowing it. All right, asbestos was cut out because it was just people. A lot of people were having cancer. I remember I had one client who had lung cancer because of asbestos. All right, so great leaders. So that's why I always say knowledge is power, but understanding is everything. If you understand that, if you have the knowledge that antibiotics, uh, you cannot be taking antibiotics regularly, but not understanding why. Remember, there's antimicrobial resistance, which is resistance to antibiotics. But the other reason for that is that you also damage your kidneys in the long run. Okay, and you are also increasing your chances of developing type 2 diabetes by always being on antibiotics. I know a lot of people were a couple of years ago who were obsessed with antibiotics. All right, so that's why I say yes, knowledge is power, but do you understand? Do you understand what you have? All right. So, Gracie, thank you so much. It's almost 55 minutes. If that if there are no questions, okay, I'll give it a minute, a few seconds. Do you have any question other than what I've covered here? Because next week we are covering a whole different subject, not this, nothing to do with NCDs. So there's just far too many people who are dying. You saw the stats from the World Health Organization that 2 million people died from kidney disorders and diabetes. And remember, I said kidney disorders are normally a complication from diabetes. And I also said that lifestyle diseases or NCDs love company. They are not solitary beings. Okay, I'm repeating. Cardiovascular diseases account for the most deaths of NCDs, which was 17.9 million people annually, which is actually year on year over 17 million people die from cardiovascular disease, followed by cancer, which is over 9 million people succumbing to cancer, followed by the third chronic respiratory diseases. That's the third one, which kills over 4 million people, and then followed by diabetes. So those are the fearsome four. They should actually call them the fearsome four, right? That are just claiming lives day in and day out. And remember, tobacco use, inactivity, physical inactivity, harmful use of alcohol, and unhealthy diets are all increase the risk of dying from NCDs. Ladies and gents, our leave it there. Training is over. Thank you so much for attending Great Leaders. See you next week, where I will be with a wonderful, wonderful guest, a newly graduated product specialist. Thank you so much, Great Leaders. We'll see you next week. Bye.